Okay, good morning everyone. Today we will discuss one of the application of equal area criterion. That is the first one is sudden change in the mechanical input. Okay, this is the first case. So consider in the figure. So there is a mechanical input that is given to the generator. That is called as PM. This is the generator. So it is producing a voltage that is represented by E dash at an angle delta, and generator reactance that is called as XD dash, and transmission line reactance that is XE, and it is connected to the infinite bus bar. So the infinite bus bar voltage is given by V at an angle 0. So this figure shows the transient model of a single machine, that is the single machine connected to the infinite bus. So the electrical power transmitted that is given by, that is PE is equal to E at an E dash at an angle E dash and V divided by, that is two reactances are there, XD dash plus XE sine delta. So this is equal to the P max. So this term we can call it as P max. So therefore this is equal to P max sine delta. Under steady operating condition, what happens? So both the powers are equal. So that is PM naught is equal to PE naught. So this is also equal to P max sine delta. Okay. So this is indicated in this point A. So consider this figure number 1. This is equal area criterion. This is considered as figure number 2. So this is the P delta curve for sudden increase in mechanical input to the generator. So in this case, so what happened? So initially the mechanical input is PM naught under steady state condition. So both PM and PE are equal. So your total it will become P max sine delta naught at delta naught, angle delta naught. The operating point will be situated at point A. Okay. So initially that is the omega. If it is greater than the synchronous speed, the direction will be on this side. Omega is less than the synchronous speed, then your direction will be on this side. Okay, so it is accelerating and decelerating speed that will be takes place. So in this case, in point A, so that mechanical input to the rotor is suddenly increases from PM naught to PM1. Okay, that is it suddenly increases from point A to this point. Okay, suddenly it will be increasing here like this. Okay, so suddenly change in mechanical input. Due to that, by opening of the steam valve, so whatever the PM we are giving to the generator, so by opening the steam valve, the steam will be suddenly increasing on the turbine. So therefore mechanical input will be increases. So due to that, so if mechanical input is more, so what is your equation? Pm minus Pe, that is equal to accelerating power Pa. If Pm is more, so Pe is less, your accelerating power will be increases. So that accelerating power Pa is increases, that will causes the rotor speed to increase in this direction. Rotor speed is more than the omega s. Okay, and so does the rotor angle, that is called as delta 1. At angle delta 1, that is Pa is equal to Pm1 minus Pe. Pm1 minus Pe at that rotor angle delta 1. Okay, so therefore that is at point B, so it is accelerating like this. So therefore we can write it as at angle delta 1, so Pa is equal to Pm1 minus Pmax sine delta 1, that is equal to 0 at this point, that is at point B. So but the rotor angle, it will continuously increases. Okay, so because of sudden change in the mechanical input, so omega is more than your synchronous speed omega s. So it will be continuously increasing in delta angle. Okay, so because of that, the rotor angle continuously increases, that is omega is greater than omega s. The Pa now become negative. Okay, so that is decelerating, the angle will be increasing. Okay, so because of that the Pa will be increasing. Due to that, the now it will starts decelerating, the rotor speed begins to reduce on that point C. Okay, but the angle continues to increase until the angle delta 2, until the angle delta 2, this is the delta 2 angle. So in this case, in delta 2 angle, omega is equal to omega s at delta 2. Okay, so therefore that is at point C, that will be happening at point C. So continues to increase till the at angle delta 2, omega is equal to omega s at point C. At C, the decelerating area A2, so this is the decelerating area A2 equals the accelerating area A1. So both A2 is equal to A1 at this condition. Okay, now we can write, that is integration of delta naught to delta 2, take limit from delta naught to delta 2. So that is your Pa, that is the accelerating power with respect to d delta is equal to 0 and both are equal. Okay, since the rotor is decelerating now both are equal, now the rotor is starts decelerating. Okay, so because the speed reduces below the omega s, so now speed is less than omega s. So now what happened, that is in opposite direction, the points traverse in opposite direction now, so like this. Okay, so again come back to this position A. Okay, so continuously oscillations will be takes place from point A to C and point C to A. Okay, so because of decelerating, okay, the rotor, the operating point now traversing in opposite direction, so as indicated by the arrow, and it is seen that the system oscillates about the new steady point, that is called as B. Okay, so in this case delta is equal to delta 1 at point B, delta is equal to delta 1 at this delta 1, the angle will become delta 1 at point P. So with that, up to delta naught to delta 2 on two sides, the oscillations are similar to the simple harmonic motion. It is like simple harmonic motion of an inertia spring system, except that the oscillations are not sinusoidal. The oscillations are not a sinusoidal. It will be non-sinusoidal oscillations. That is, continuously it will be varying from A to C and C to A. Okay, like this. And as the oscillations decay, so if oscillations are decayed, so then it will reaches the steady state after some time. Okay, so because of this inherent damping system, it will settle at new steady state point, where we can show that Pm1 is equal to Pe, that is equal to P max sine delta 1. So then from figure 2, the area A1 and A2 are given by, so we can write the area A1, that is accelerating area, and A1 and accelerating area A2. So that is given by, so A1 is equal to integration A1. So this A1 area is from delta naught to delta 1. So therefore integration of delta naught to delta 1. So this is Pm1 minus Pe. So this is Pm1 minus of Pe. So this area we will get. Okay. So therefore Pm1 minus Pe into d delta. Similarly, area 2 is given by area 2. This is given by integration of, that is, limit delta 1 to delta 2. Delta 1 to delta 2, 1 to delta 2. So that is Pe minus Pm1, because here in area 2, so Pe is more, in area 1 Pm1 is more. Pe minus Pm1 with respect to d delta. For stability of the system, it should be possible to find the angle delta 2 such that A1 is equal to A2. Okay, as Pm1 is increased, a limiting condition is finally reached when A1 equals to the area above the Pm1. So this above the Pm1. So line shows, that is in figure 3, it will be representing. So comparing in figure 2 and this figure 3. Figure 3. So limiting case of transient stability with mechanical input suddenly increase. So this Pm0 to Pm1 it is increased. So if delta 2 is increased further, so what happens? If delta 2 is initially in this point, if delta 2 is increasing continuously, so this delta 2 will be shifted at this point. Okay, so then your area A2 and A1, okay, it does not equal at this case. Okay, so therefore, so what happened? A1 equals to the area about the Pm1 line. Is, under this condition, delta 2 attains the maximum value. This delta 2 it will attains the maximum value such that delta 2 is equal to delta max. So we can call it as, this delta 2 is called as delta max. So that is given by, so what is the distance between here to here? So this point and this point both are same. Here to here distance is delta 1. Similarly, here to here distance is also equal to delta 1 only. So delta 2 is given by, this is pi minus of delta 1. So we can write, right? We can write delta 2 is equal to this pi minus, this distance is delta 1 distance, here to here it will be same. So pi minus delta 1. Okay, so this is also equal to, so we can write it as pi minus delta 1 delta 2 is equal to delta max, that is also equal to pi minus delta 1, that is equal to pi minus sine inverse of Pm1 by Pmax, because we have Pm1 is equal to Pmax sine delta. Okay, so I want delta, take delta outside. Okay, so delta is equal to, so pi minus sine inverse of, that is Pm1 minus Pm1 divided by Pmax. So that can be, it will be obtained here. Okay, so now, so any further rise in Pm1, that indicates the area available for the A2 is similar than the A1, and excess kinetic energy makes delta 2 to increase. So this, because of excess kinetic energy, this delta 2 is going to be increases the beyond the point C. So if it is again, if increasing in the delta 2, so if it is crosses the point C, so what happen? The decelerating power changes over to the accelerating power, and the system therefore becomes unstable. Beyond point C, the system will comes, it will becomes unstable position. Okay, so thus it can be seen that using equal area criterion and upper limit to the sudden rise in mechanical input, that is Pm1 minus Pm0, that can be determined for the system to remain in stable position. Have got this point? How we can, because of mechanical input changed in the system Pm0 to Pm1, so we will get the operating point, it will be shifted from point A to point B, and then again delta 1 it is increased to delta 2, it is again going to the point C. After that it will be decelerating, and the operating points traverse in this opposite direction, so continuously it will be oscillating. So when both A1 and A2 is equal, the system will be stable. Suppose if delta 2 is increased further, so if mechanical input is more, if delta 2 is increased further, so if accelerating power, so it is crosses the beyond point C, then the A1 and A2 both are not equal, so then the system will becomes unstable. So this is the concept behind, this is the sudden change in the mechanical input. Is it clear? Hello? Are you following?
Yes, sir.
So next is the effect of
Yes, sir.
clearing time on stability. Next topic is effect of clearing time on stability. In this case, we need to find out two important things, that is critical clearing angle and critical clearing time. So let us consider the system. So consider this system. So having a generator. So mechanical input is given. Okay, suppose this is the transformer and transmission line is there, circuit breakers are present, this is the infinite bus. So the operating with the mechanical input, that is the PM, at steady state angle of delta naught, such that PM naught is equal to PE naught. In this case, PM naught, initially PM naught is equal to PE naught. So the point A, so because of PM naught, both mechanical power and electrical power both are equal, we will get the operating point at point A, because this is the mechanical power line. Okay, so on the other hand, the three-phase fault occurs. Suppose at point P, the fault will be occurring. This three-phase fault is occurred at point P. So it is very nearer to this generator bus. Okay, so what to do? Very near to the generator bus. 1 second. Hello, sir, class ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀನಿ ಸರ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, so at this point, three-phase fault occur at the point P. The outgoing radial line, so it is also affecting to the, because both the lines are connected. If the fault occurs, so because of this fault, the fault current, it will be entering into the grid. Okay, your main line. Okay, that is the radial line. So the electrical output of the generator, that is instantly reduces to 0. So what happens? Your PE becomes 0. When the fault is occurs, the PE will become 0. Instantly it will reduce to 0. Okay, so look at the equal area criterion. So when fault occurs, so the operating point, it will shifted from point A to point B. Okay, because your PE will become 0 at this condition when three-phase fault occurs. And now, so what happens? PE becomes 0. So what happens to the PA? PM minus PE. Only PM is present. PE will become 0. So the accelerating power will be increasing. Okay, that is mechanical power, that is high, and electrical power is 0, and the machine will be accelerating. Okay, so now the acceleration area even begins to increase from delta naught to delta C. Okay, so this rotor angle, that is operating point, it will moves along BC. So it is moves along BC. So initially, when three-phase fault occurs, so the point shift from point A to point B. After that, because of PE becomes 0, the accelerating power increases. So now PE is 0. So only the mechanical power is there. So now the point is shifted from point B to C because of accelerating area. It will be increasing in this direction because omega is greater than omega s, that is moving in this direction. Okay, so at the time of T is equal to Tc. So what is the Tc? Tc corresponds to the clearing time. So we need to open the circuit breaker here. So whatever this circuit breaker is there, so we need to open this circuit breaker. If you open the circuit breaker, this three-phase fault that can be cleared. Okay, so if you open the circuit breaker, it will be isolated from this another radial line. So what happened? Suddenly, if you open the circuit breaker at T is equal to Tc, that is the clearing time. Clearing time means fault clearing time, that is taken as Tc. Okay, at angle delta is equal to delta C. So when you are clearing the time, it is Tc correspond to the delta C. So at this point, you will clear the fault by opening the circuit breaker. So immediately the fault is cleared by opening the line circuit breaker. The value of Tc at delta C, so that is Tc is taken as clearing time, and delta C is called as clearing angle. So what happened at this point? The system once again becomes healthy. Okay, the fault is clear by opening the circuit breaker. Fault is remains here only. So your radio system will be healthy now. Okay, so what happened initially? Immediately the power will be, P will be increasing. Okay, so once three-phase fault is removed, so the PE is, before that it is 0, suddenly PE will be increasing. So in this direction, so PE will be jumps to the point D from here to here directly. Okay, sudden change in. So what happened? PE will be increasing rapidly. So that is maximum value. That is called as PE is equal to P max sine delta. Okay, the operating point that will shift to point D. So the original P delta curve. So this is curve. In that curve, the operating point is shifted from point C to point D. The now rotor starts decelerating. Okay, that is start decelerating because PE is increases. So what happens? What is PA? PM minus PE. So now PE is greater than PM. So what happens? You will get accelerating power will be negative. Negative means that is retardation. That is decelerating. So now it will start decelerating. Okay. So the point is shifted from D to E. The point is shifted from D to E. So and we will plot two rectangles. So that is one is called as A1, another one is called as A2. So we'll get accelerating area. A1 is the accelerating area and A2 is called as a decelerating area. Then what happened? If an angle delta 1 can be found, so this is called as delta 1 that can be found such that A1 is equal to A2 or A2 is equal to A1. A1 is equal to A2. Okay, at this point at E, so you draw a straight line at some angle that is called as delta 1. So corresponding to the two rectangle, so A1 is equal to A2. So the system is found to be stable because both are equal. The system will be stable. The system finally settles down to the steady operating point. What is your steady operating point? Point A is the steady operating point. Okay, so that is by oscillating manner. So continuously what happens? The oscillations will be take place from point A to E and E to A. Okay, so continuous oscillation. After some oscillation, it will reach us to the point A. This is point A is the stability point. Okay, it will come back. Okay, in so if the clearing of the fault line gets delayed, so what happens? So this clearing angle delta C, so you have cleared the three-phase fault within the operating time. So at the delta C, so the system will become stable. So if you open the circuit breaker after some delay, okay, so what happened? So immediately if you switch on the circuit breaker, that is open the circuit breaker contact. So before the fault affecting on the healthy line, okay, then you will get the stability. So if the time t, that is the operating time of the circuit breaker, you have make it as delay. So this delta C, it will be increases. Okay. So that is called as delta CR. That is critical clearing angle. If time increases, your delta is also increases from delta C to delta CR. So look at the second diagram. So this A1 will be increasing here. So compare these two diagrams. So A1 is here and A1 is here. So delta C is increases because if opening of the circuit breaker, it will be more, it will take more time. So at the angle delta CR, so that is called as critical clearing angle. Critical clearing angle and corresponds to the time that is called as TCR, critical clearing time. In this time, so system may not come back to the stable position or it will goes to the unstable region. So because it is very critical case, okay, critical time and critical case, it may come back to the system stable position if delta is not more than 90 degree. Okay, so if it is delta is more than 90 degree, it will become unstable. Okay, if it is less than 90 degree or equal to 90 degree, it will be critical case. Critical case. Okay. So now, if the clearing fault line gets delayed, then the area A1 will be increasing. So now area A1 will be increasing, then A2 increases along with the delta 1 such that A2 is equal to A1 till delta 1. Delta 1 becomes delta max. Okay, delta 1 becomes delta max. Up to this, A1 will becomes A2. If it is crosses the delta max, so the A1 is increasing and A2 will be decreasing. Okay, so for clearing angle more than the critical value, so this is the more than the critical value, that is delta CR, the system will be and become unstable. I have told the system will be unstable because its delta CR is the maximum point, so it should not crosses this. If it is crosses this, so area A1 will be increasing further, so A2 will be reduces. Okay, so then what happen? A1 is more than A2, the system will becomes unstable. Okay, this is the about the stability point. So let us consider a simple case of PE is equal to 0 during the fault that get the relationship of delta C and TC with all angles considered in the radians only. Okay, now we can find out what is delta CR and what is TCR, that can be found from the expression, that is from the figure 6. This is the figure 6. So from this we will write the expressions for delta CR and TCR. So delta max is equal to pi minus delta naught. So look here, I will show once again. Okay, so from this figure number 6, so delta max is equal to, this is the pi minus delta naught. So this point and this point are same, so this distance and this distance will be same, so delta max is given by pi minus of delta naught. Okay, so from initial steady state point condition, so P naught is equal to Pm naught, that is given by P max sin delta naught. So therefore A1 is given by integration of delta naught to delta CR, first one delta naught to delta CR, that will gives the A1 rectangle. So that is given by, so Pm is there, Pm minus of Pe, because it is accelerating area, Pm is greater than Pe d delta. Okay, this is also given by, so delta naught to delta CR, so Pm, so in this case, first case P will become 0, Pm minus 0 into d delta. So therefore what happens to the A1? A1 will becomes Pm into delta CR minus of delta naught. Okay, this is 0, so apply limits, delta CR minus of delta naught into Pm. Okay, this is equation number 1. Similarly, we need to write A2 expression. So what is the A2? So A2 represents integration limit from delta CR to delta max. Delta CR to delta max. Okay. So in decelerating area, PE is more. PE minus PM. PM is less respect to d delta. So this can be given by delta CR to delta max. So P is equal to, we can write it as P max sin delta. P max sine delta. So PM right as it is PM with respect to d delta. So integrate this. So this will becomes P max sine delta. So it will becomes P max sine delta will becomes minus cos delta, integration of delta CR to delta max minus PM, apply the limit with respect to the delta CR to delta max. So then your A2 will become, so P max, right, that is, so cos of delta CR minus cos of delta max, right? So that is minus cos of delta max minus cos of delta CR. It becomes minus into minus plus, hence I will write positive value first, cos of delta CR first, then minus of cos of delta max, minus PM into here delta max minus delta CR. So for system will become stable. So for considering system will be stable, to be stable, area A2 must be equal to area A1. Okay, so this is equation number 2. So equate equation number 1 and 2. So both considering we will write and simplify. So A2 is equal to A1. So what is A2? P max cos delta CR minus cos of delta max minus PM into delta max minus delta CR is equal to, what is equation number 1? Write equation number 1. What is PM into delta CR minus of delta naught. Okay. So simplify this. I will write directly. I will take cos of delta CR outside. After simplifying, we will get final expression, that is PM divided by P max delta max minus delta naught plus cos of delta max. We get this expression. So in this case, PM, you can write it as P max sine delta naught, and delta max can be written as pi minus delta naught. Substitute these two things. So then becomes cos of delta CR is equal to, in the place of PM, we will write P max sine of delta naught divided by P max into, in the place of delta max, we will substitute pi minus delta naught, pi minus delta naught minus of delta naught plus cos of delta max, you can write as pi minus delta naught. So now this will get cancelled. So cos of delta CR is equal to sine of delta naught into pi minus delta naught to delta naught minus cos of delta naught, because cos of 90 minus theta equal to minus cos theta. Okay. So finally, so delta CR can be given as cos inverse of pi minus 2 delta naught and sin delta naught minus cos delta naught. This is the expression for critical clearing angle. This delta CR is called as critical clearing angle. Delta CR. So this is very important. Critical clearing angle. So during the time period when the fault is persists, the swing equation. So according to the swing equation, you can write. So what is your swing equation? So m into d square delta by dt square is equal to Pm minus Pe. Okay, so here P will become 0. So then what happens? P becomes 0 means this will becomes Pm. So g square delta by dt square is equal to, take m on this side, this will become 1 over m into Pm. Pm minus P is equal to Pm. So I'll write Pm only. So d square delta by dt square. So what is m? So m is equal to h by pi into f. So 1 over m becomes, so this is equal to pi f by h into Pm. So integrating twice, we get, integrating this expression twice, so we will get delta value is equal to pi f by 2 times of h into Pm into t square plus delta naught. So R, you can write it as the same, delta can be written in terms of delta CR, substitute value, delta CR is equal to pi f by 2h into Pm. T can be written as TCR, that is critical clearing time, plus delta naught. So you can also represent critical clearing angle in another method. So it is called as critical clearing angle. There are two expressions for critical clearing angle. Either you can use this expression or this expression. Okay, depending upon the values given in the problem. Okay, these are the two expressions for delta CR. Okay, this is also the expression for critical clearing angle, and this is also expression for critical clearing angle. So I want critical clearing time. So take TCR outside from this. So TCR is equal to, this is TCR square is there. So if you take only TCR, we will get square root of, that is 2h into delta CR. This delta CR is comes here, minus of delta naught divided by pi f into Pm. So this is the expression for critical clearing time. So these two are important: critical clearing angle and critical clearing time. TCR is the critical clearing time. So next class, so we will discuss about the sudden loss of one of the parallel line. So that is the case 2 of the equal area criterion. So in today's class, what we have discussed, so that is sudden change in the mechanical input, the system is going to be stable or not. So that is given by these two diagram. So this delta 2 is more than the delta max, the system will become unstable, because A1 and A2 will not becomes equal, because A1 will be increasing and A2 will be decreasing. That is because of sudden change in the mechanical input. And also we have found that is the effect of clearing time and stability. So if you clear the fault very earlier, your system will become stable. If you clear the fault after the critical clearing angle, Okay, so then your system will becomes unstable. So that can be obtained from the critical clearing time, and that critical clearing angle expression is also we are calculated by is derived from this equal area criteria. Okay, this is about the today's class. Anybody having any doubts regarding this? Okay, so today we'll wind up the today's class, and tomorrow is holiday. So day after tomorrow we can discuss another topic. Okay, thank you.